Describe in single words only the good things that come into your mind. About your mother?
My mother?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about my mother.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Have you ever been in an institution? Cells.
Cells.
Do they keep you in a cell? Cells.
Cells.
When you're not performing your duties, do they keep you in a little box? Cells.
This causes it. This causes it. This causes it. Information overload. All the electronics around you poisoning the airwaves.
You are listening to the High Tech Low Life Podcast, a cyberpunk media retrospective. High Tech Low Life contains language and themes not suitable for all audiences, as well as spoilers for the content being covered. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back, everybody, to the High Tech Low Life Podcast with your hosts, Eric and Josh. I'm Eric.
And I'm Josh. It's a good bit of business. I am not a fan of the police.
So what we're doing here, just a brief intro, just a continuation of the last episode. Just to remind everybody that we're doing Alien Earth, and we are joined by Mackie himself, Colin from the Astronomica Podcast, and also to announce what we're doing next episode. And that is, if you're following along at home, one that's been on our list from day one. Is one of the first ones Josh brought up, even though it's not very cyberpunk, and that is The Net, starring Sandra Bullock. I don't know what year it is, sometime in the late 90s. If you want to keep up with us, watch The Net. I believe it's on Amazon. Other than that, I'm not going to talk dystopia. I'm not going to do recommendos. I'm just going to fire you right into the previously recorded episode, and I hope you like it. So here it is.
Okay, Episode 3, Metamorphosis. Nibs questions Curly about why the hybrids are all named after Peter Pan characters, and why Marcy gets to be Wendy. Cavalier orders the specimens be brought back to Neverland Island for study, despite objections from Kirsch and Dame Sylvia, the Babadook. Morrow finds Smee and Slightly guarding the xenomorph eggs and interrogates them, suspicious of their childlike behavior. Morrow downloads all the data from the Maginot and erases the data from the source. Kirsch confronts Morrow, and Morrow plants a device on Slightly's neck before escaping. Meanwhile, Wendy and Joe fight the xenomorph with a meat hook, and Wendy kills the xenomorph, although both sustain serious injuries. Returning to the island, Joe undergoes surgery with Dame and her husband Arthur, tending to Wendy. Having escaped into New Siam, Morrow calls Miss Yutani and insists on retrieving the specimens despite being ordered to return home. Curly confronts Cavalier about his favoritism towards Wendy, asserting herself to be the best hybrid. Morrow contacts Slightly via the embedded device, convincing Slightly to be Morrow's friend. Kirsch, Toodles, and Curly dissect a facehugger and introduce its larva into Joe's damaged lung removed during surgery. Wendy awakens, seemingly intercepting signals from the xenomorph eggs which cause pain. Wendy ultimately collapses in the laboratory containing the eggs.
With my favorite needle drop at that moment.
Which one was that?
That's the Wherever I May Roam.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Which, not the biggest fan of the Black Album, but that particular song off of it hadn't heard in a while, and it was good to hear it in the show.
And it fit.
Yeah, I think it was the next episode, which was my favorite of the needle drops, because, in the past 30 years, I've come around a little bit on Smashing Pumpkins.
So you did like that. I expected that was one that you hated.
Over the past decade or so, every once in a while I run across a Smashing Pumpkins song and I go, this isn't as bad and annoying as it was in 1995.
Same. I hated it in 95, and now I hear it and I'm like, okay. I was maybe a little harsh.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy Corgan, not so much.
No, fuck that guy. But yeah, man, I think that there's a lot happened in this episode. Yeah. a lot of stuff happened in a very confined space. And I think that we're all on record as saying that this was the episode that kind of turned it around for us.
Like I was fairly on board for the first couple of episodes. I thought it was an absolutely wild choice to like, okay, so are we doing like just an 8-hour fucking Aliens? Like we're just going to have a giant action movie for 8 hours? Because if so, boy, like
I think that's why
that's
I
an
wasn't
insane
interested.
budget to get. It's not going to, you know, in my mind, that's not going to be the best show. It might be cool to watch. You know?
I can't watch 8 hours of Sparks.
That would be too. Their Spark budget would be through the fucking roof. But this is the episode where you settle into, okay, so the show actually has a little bit of a viewpoint as opposed to opposed to the opening crawl, which is not addressed in the first 2 episodes effectively.
Yeah. I don't think this isn't by any means my favorite episode, but it is the one where I started to get it, or at least become interested in it. And my first note on this is that Smee and Slightly together are the best. Just watching those two be 12-year-old boys is very entertaining.
Wonderful team act. Like you said shit, you said fuck.
Yeah. And then they hug a lot, and that's something kids do. My wife has been like volunteering in a school, and she pointed out that young boys, they just fucking hug all the time. They're always arms around each other, and it's fun to watch grown men do that.
Absolutely.
It's also, this episode also, I noticed it the second time around. I feel like while all the actors are doing a really good job, of the child actors, well, not child, but the actors who are acting as children, the hybrid actors, how about that? The hybrid actors, Curly, like it's kind of a tie between Curly and Toodles, who like, I think this episode decides he wants to be Isaac. It's kind of a tie between those two in terms of who is the least developed hybrid. And Toodles has a really good excuse because he dies pretty soon.
Yeah.
Curly.
Or does he?
Oh.
Exactly. Question. I kind of hope he doesn't, honestly.
Curly is she is given like kind of a real spotlight in this episode. And then
she's the ambitious one.
And then character development wise, it totally drops out until halfway through the last episode.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It never really has a payoff.
It's a really interesting, like, I don't know. Interesting makes it sound like it was planned. I don't think it was planned. I think they just lost track of, oh shit, we've got, X number of minutes and X number of characters.
Well, it's kind of close to Newcastle. I'm not sure we needed more of this, but Curly's ambition and her interaction with Boy Cavalier also gave us more insight into what a manipulative monster Boy Cavalier is. Oh no, you're not my favorite, but now you're in the running. Or you're in the conversation. I can't remember the line. But so like it was an interaction that did double duty. It fleshed her out and threw more fucking oil on the pyre. The fucking
that we want to burn
tire fire
alive on.
Exactly.
And then later you can speak French, but can you do that? Oh man, that's brutal.
That's fucking brutal. Yeah.
As for Toodles, I paid a lot more attention on my second watch to the kids before they were put into the adult bodies.
Yeah.
And Toodles is developed quite a bit more than the rest. Like he's like, I want to be a scientist. This is my goal.
Yeah.
I want to be a smart grown up person. And so I think Toodles is actually fairly well developed. He doesn't get as much screen time.
I don't,
but
I don't disagree that he's actually fairly well developed, but in terms of all the rest of the hybrids across the length of the show, he
True.
gets a little bit undercut by the fact that he dies at the end of episode 6.
Yeah. I do think Curly was given the least, which is a shame because she's a really good actor.
I was paying a lot of attention to her on the second watch through, and I mean, all those actors are doing really good work. She is putting in some real fucking, like, she's putting in some real labor in the few scenes she gets.
Irana James.
She's
and she looks familiar, but I haven't. None of her credits are.
She's from New Zealand, I think. Is that right?
Something like that. She was in The Hobbit, Desolation and Smog.
Oh, yes. I think she was like a little girl in. She was a little girl in The Village, Lake Town.
Okay.
Well,
anyway,
this episode had one annoying trope, but I didn't put down. I know what it is, but I can't name the context. So I'm going to save it till the next episode, which I know did something that really annoys me when all TV shows and movies do. So I don't know why I'm bringing it up now, but I'll save it for the next one. Maybe when I do, you'll be able to remember what I was referencing that also occurs in this episode.
Well, I feel like also, I don't know whether I should bring this up in this episode or the next episode or even the next one. So maybe y'all can help me. When did this show really start to remind you of Jurassic Park?
That would be, I think, this episode.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm on the right page.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I've
in
only
many ways.
seen the Jurassic Park where the T-Rex comes to New York. I've not.
It was San Diego, and it was either 2 or 3. I don't remember.
I think it was 2.
Yeah,
but I mean, on the face of it, extremely advanced scientific and research facility on an isolated tropical island. Dangerous life forms are being studied. They get loose. I mean, it's if we're just going to play jumble with it, you can draw a lot of lines between the two properties, which isn't exactly a complaint.
In the back half of episode 7 and then the front half of episode 8, it becomes very much Jurassic Park. I mean, I'm surprised there wasn't a shot of, a tropical field with the xenomorph tail floating above it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Can I point out one more scene in this episode that I loved? And that was the scene of Morrow downloading the data as he talks to the boys. Maybe that's the scene that got me hooked, got me into the show. But that was like, this guy fucking rules, and he's a badass, and he's scary. And these kids are, I suddenly started caring about these two boys as they're confronted by this really scary man. Yeah, I also loved when Oliphant Kirsch shows up and they have their first little shit on, because those two interacting is the highlight of the show for me. And this is their first one.
They are really freaking good.
They are doing such different shit.
I love it so much. I want to see a buddy comedy with, no, actually that would be the opposite of what it would be, but I want to see him show down more.
I mean, I would watch a highlight reel that was 800 hours long of them just talking shit, to each other. It was, that scene in the elevator was fucking fire. And I mean, it does highlight, I think, one of the strengths of the show is that for every weakness we can point to, there's a lot of really phenomenal character work. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There is, the dialogue is generally on point.
Yeah. It's there.
Plot and structure gets a little muddy, a little fucked up, and there are annoying directorial choices and things like that. Yeah. But it was.
I loved when Morrow is, when that conversation is wrapping up and the eggs are starting to realize, there's a possible host here, and it's none of the protagonists that we've come to be on the side of. It's this one guy, and he realizes, oh shit, I got to get the fuck out of here. It's I don't know. The whole scene was very good for me.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And absolutely. This episode, and then transitioning into the next episode, is one of the things that I don't think takes a ton of discussion, but I think absolutely has to be addressed. Like through the initial couple of episodes, there's been like, yeah, we're doing a Peter Pan thing. I fucking get it. And
really hammered that home to you.
Through like the end of this episode, that was really fucking annoying to me. Just because, like, okay, I get it.
It seemed a little belabored.
You can knock it off. I get it. We've got the fucking Lost Boys. You're putting a pin in it. Like there are hats on hats on hats here.
Yeah. Nobody missed it. We all get it.
Yeah, and then I think it was sometime between this episode airing and the next episode, although it might have been while I was watching the next episode, I realized, like, it's actually perfect and a really good bit of storytelling because Boy Cavalier is so fucking annoying that, like, yeah, this is exactly what one of these asshole billionaires gets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is exactly what some asshole billionaire gets hung up on and just
we've seen it happen.
Hammers into the ground, carrying a kitchen sink into a tech company he bought because his, he doesn't agree with his daughter's hormone choices. And like, I still hate it. Like, I still get sick of hearing the Peter Pan thing.
Yeah.
But it's by design now. It's not.
Sometime in like that week, I realized, this is intentionally irritating the shit out of me.
No, I agree that I hadn't put that together that way, but that's quite true because. Go ahead.
I think that is. I agree with you 100%, except for the intentional thing. I'm not sure I'm ready to give them that much credit.
Fair. Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things that accidentally hit the nail right on the head, resonated. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, a fucking boy billionaire would be hung up on some dumb shit. For this guy, it's Peter Pan.
Yeah,
that he thinks is profound.
It could be fucking Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And I feel like in some ways,
and he thinks it makes him interesting.
He thinks it makes him profound. Yeah. And
it's like good.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, like, I'm actually consciously, if I ever watch this show again, going to headcanon that, take it in, and use it, because I think, Josh, you've discovered a wonderful coping mechanism for one of the things in the show that is actually a little kind of very annoying, and that the Peter Pan stuff.
Yeah, because I typically find shows and movies that do that shit. Just like, yeah, we get it, man. You're referring to a classical reference, or yeah, I know it's a fucking Jane Austen rip. Just move on. Stop throwing sly references at me and assuming that either I'm too dumb to have picked up on this or whatever.
Well, they outright state it. At one point, Wendy says, "You think you're Peter Pan," but I don't remember the exact context. But yeah, I think you're right, Josh. There was a certain point where I realized this isn't like a reference. This is a direct statement on the character. So I don't know. It's interesting to think about. But you're right. It is a coping mechanism either way, because it does get annoying.
Yeah. It's a direct statement on the character, not complimentary.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. Let's read the synopsis of number 4. You want me to read one, Josh?
Yeah, why don't you?
Prove to the audience that I can.
All right, good luck. I know you've been practicing all week.
I got this stupid mic stand in my way. When Wendy wakes up, this is episode 4, observation. When Wendy wakes up, Arthur adjusts her hearing so Wendy can hear the xenomorph eggs without experiencing pain. And Wendy discovers she can speak the xenomorph's language in a frequency audible to humans. Kirsch and Toodles test Trypanohincha ocellus.
Oh, my favorite character on the entire program.
Yeah, understandable. An octopus-like creature on a sheep, and it implants itself in the sheep's brain via its eye socket. Toodles renames himself Isaac after Isaac Newton. Kumimaro pressures slightly into revealing his real name, Arush Singh, and he is from India as a sign of trust, and asks slightly to steal a xenomorph egg. Nibs, claiming to be pregnant, becomes violent after the Babadook tries to interrogate her about the rescue mission and is unknowingly put under house arrest. Joe, jaded after seeing how Wendy is treated as an experiment, attempts to quit and leave. However, Adam Ines tells Joe that if he does, Joe will be sent a large bill for his new lung and never see Wendy again. Slightly contacts Morrow to tell Morrow that he cannot steal an egg, but Morrow used Slightly's real name to track down Slightly's family and uses them as blackmail. Morrow instructs Slightly to take a human near the eggs so they can be infected by a facehugger. It is revealed that Kirsch has been eavesdropping on Morrow and Slightly's conversations. Later, Wendy observes the xenomorph-infected lung as the newborn xenomorph bursts out, and Wendy placates it by communicating.
Amazing.
Good job. You did it.
I did it. I can read. Let's see.
It has. I just want to say right now, it has been a huge failing of ours that it has taken until this long to mention the eyeball monster.
You're right. Like, we're 2 hours in, and we have not
the MVP.
just now mentioned the.
But, and that was, minute fucking 1 when it appeared on screen in the first episode. I was like, this guy rules.
It really does. And I don't think it's this episode. I think it's the next episode. But this, there's a scene when shit's going down in that lab, and that fucking sheep is just staring at the camera like it's staring at you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the xenomorphs in another cage, like banging his head on the wall. It is tense. And one thing this show does very well is build tension. It is tense and creepy all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
The eyeball monster hugely contributes to that.
Oh yeah. No matter what face he's in.
Or what face it's attempting to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain times you're like, is this guy a bad guy or a good guy? Like,
yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. No, well, I mean,
I think that's the next episode where he tries to warn the lady.
Uh-huh.
I think that is actually, I read, we'll talk about it next episode.
Let's talk about it. The eyeball monster fucking rules. We can all agree on that.
It's like an 8-eyed creature that can turn its 8 eyes into like a single looking eye, and then has some like octopus fucking tentacles and like crawls around on those, and it looks like there's just an eye sitting on some tentacles wandering around and like fucking slingshotting itself into shit. It's wonderful.
For the folks at home, if that sounds silly to you, I assure you it is not. It's incredibly extremely well done.
And some of the creepiest moments in the show are because of that guy.
Like, Stan actually had a complaint about it. He's like, I thought that the multiple irises thing was kind of cartoony. It didn't seem right. And I've been thinking about it ever since he said that. And I feel like basically I'm okay with it. Like, because you see that the iris, the sclera, the retina, all that stuff, it can kind of like change and shift to mimic the host. And I'm like, well, I mean, if you think about like evolution, it would make sense for all kinds of creatures to develop some sort of sensory organ that can like see the light spectrum, that can do that. And so that would make this thing extremely versatile. Like, it could find a host in any creature that had, light sensing organs, like sense organs. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's one of those things that's like super simple, super cool. And a whole bunch of like sci-fi writers, if they watch it, would be like, damn, I wish I'd thought of that.
Yeah.
And
another thing in regards to that is it is just an eyeball on top of a squid. So if you're going to make it express anything, you've got to be able to manipulate that eyeball. And that would be my guess as to why they like allowed it to morph and change, because you could almost see this little fucking eyeball thing thinking and reasoning as it went about its business. It was cool.
Now here's an interesting thing about the eyeball monster. The one creature that this eyeball monster is seemingly in no way a threat to is the creature the show is named after. because xenomorphs do not have eyeballs. It's like the only thing. It's the only thing in the world of the show.
But he does seem to hate it, as we'll see next episode.
They do a cool fight.
But let's talk about this episode. I want to talk about maybe one of the more annoying things that happened, and that happens in a lot of shows, and it always makes me roll my eyes and scoff. And that is, in this particular episode, Wendy walks into the Boy Cavalier's room, and he says, "Pirates are Indians." And she says, understandably, "What?" And all the audience goes, "What?" And he goes, "Was it more like fighting the alien? Was it more like fighting pirates or Indians?" And motherfucker, just say that. They do that multiple times in the show, and I hate that narrative trick. I think it's so fucking annoying.
Oh, I'm going to say
and
something.
Nobody talks like that in real.
Actually, Eric, I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay.
There are people that do shit like that, and they're fucking annoying. I'm going to throw something out there in a way that will hopefully provoke the question that will make me then get to pontificate and look like a smart guy. Sadly, those people do exist.
That is exactly it. It is for you go, okay, what do you mean?
Okay, fine, I'll take the fucking bait.
They want
I have no choice.
They want you to go in a really interested way, like, I don't know, what do you mean? When in reality you're just tired.
Well, the thing I usually see it most in is in rom-coms. It's usually like,
oh yeah, Beatles or Stones.
Yeah, something like that, or I don't know. I'm almost picturing a specific actress in my mind doing it, but I can't think of who it is. But it's a real manic pixie dream girl type of question.
It would also be right at home.
Quirky.
Yeah, it would be right at home in a movie that I like, but it would even be annoying there. High Fidelity, it's just, it'd be right at home there. I'm with you in that it's fucking annoying. In real life and in fiction. Don't do that shit. Folks at home, if you're listening, this is our advice to you. Don't be that guy. You have it in you to not be that guy. So choose not to be that guy.
Choose life.
Thanks for watching, listening.
And I will say that this contributes to my Boy Cavalier is intentionally written to be fucking annoying.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that I agree with.
Mission accomplished, writers. Yeah. Hats off to you.
This is simply another nail in that coffin.
Yeah.
Yep.
My other note for this episode is very important. I cannot let this escape, and that is when the alien hatches from the lung, busts through the glass, and scares Wendy, and then she's fucking with it on the table. In my head, on repeat, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby.
Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire."
It was the final scene of Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Very clearly.
What did y'all think about Nibs's, "Oh, I'm pregnant, I'm having a baby" thing, and like how that was handled? Because I didn't hate that, honestly, because I feel like, okay, if what we're doing is we're putting human consciousness into superhuman bodies, well, human consciousness is very prone to malfunction and mishap.
Yeah.
And, like the ethical question of like, okay, well, how do we handle this seems worth exploring. And, the show kind of half-assed did. Like, I mean, this might be getting into next episode, but I mean, how do you feel about how Dame Sylvia handled that situation?
Yeah, I think the Nibs pregnancy arc, which is a weird thing to call it since she is never at any point in any way pregnant, except maybe pregnant with ideas.
Lots of pregnant pauses.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a really interesting bit of business to toss into the middle of this show. Where, okay, number one, you can just immediately think of and then clear out the whole all the Alien movies are, or at least many of the Alien movies are big metaphors for pregnancy.
Oh yeah.
And insemination and sexual assault and stuff. There's a lot of that like built into like the creature design and how all the movies use the creature design. So like, okay, let's just take that as a given. All right. But then you've also got like, this is like I said, I've got a ton of, substantially younger cousins and stuff like that. And some kids, that is the type of weird shit that kids in the like 6 to 9 range can get just locked into.
Yeah.
And you have to untangle in your head, like, is this something fucked up or is this just a weird kid thing? Like, is this the equivalent of another random kid getting super into trains for 3 weeks?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, now in Nib's case, Dame Sylvia sees it as a trauma response to what happened on the mission. So, okay, that might be slightly different than just, a kid having an imaginary friend that they conceptualize as being like inside their own body.
Yeah.
But like, do you feel like that's the sort of thing that you necessarily would have to take action about as a parent or a guardian? Or is that the sort of thing that you just let sort of sort out on its own? Or
I think,
yeah.
Well, I think the way that Dame Sylvia suggests they handle it is probably the correct way to handle it, not the way
some therapy
that they end up actually handling it, which is the shortcut that you're allowed to do because they're robots, but could only exacerbate the problem down the line.
Yeah.
I do love that Arthur took a stand.
Yes, absolutely. Arthur, my boy.
Arthur's a low-key hero of like one of the few truly, besides the kids, just like truly unassailably good characters, I think.
Yep.
And good die young, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they do. Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back in season 2 as another of our favorite characters.
I mean, not to like send us too far up our own collective assholes, but like for your own self, for your stuff. I mean, this is, probably a question that was asked in like 50 podcasts about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind or something. But if there was a process by which you could remove the memory of trauma, do you think that's a thing that would be worth doing?
I think it'd be nice to have the option.
Yeah. I think having the option would be great. Like, I could knock out about 20 years or so and feel. I think I'd have a much better chance at being happy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's the question of how much of you is just your memories.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you want an extended treatise on this subject, check out the Johnny Mnemonic podcast, where we talk about Johnny Mnemonic for 98 episodes. And
I have.
We got into that quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to pull content from somewhere. You're doing it
there's the thing about like what doesn't kill you make you stronger, but there's also the meme that's like, or it just gives you like horrible coping mechanisms and a fucked up sense of humor,
or you have tremendous anxiety and depression for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
There's no trauma that I would want erased, but there are a few like embarrassing moments that I would like to not have pop into my brain at when I'm laying in bed trying to go to sleep. That would be nice for those to go away.
Oh, dude, I hear that.
Like my real thing is that, honestly, I've got some good sized chunks that are just don't exist anymore. And like, I think the important thing would be being able to scan through and identify, wait, was that a trauma there? Because I think there's I can certainly name a bunch of traumatic bullshit, but I know there's other stuff hidden in there that I've like forcibly blocked out.
Yeah.
and has taken other stuff with it. Like, how much of that is sitting at the core of me?
Yeah. Well, there's the
all the trauma,
thing.
am I only references to TV shows? Maybe.
Nah. Well, I've always liked the idea that it's like suffering is how you grow a soul.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that argument, like you mentioned, okay, there's just some embarrassing shit that I'd love to like forget so it doesn't assail me while I'm going to sleep. But maybe the fact that it assails me while I'm going to sleep is part of the reason I would never do that shit again. So,
right.
there is something to that. But, yeah. Well, we may be a little
good
off
question,
in the weeds. A little off. Yeah.
No, it's what we do here. But I do want to talk about episode 5.
Yes.
Because it's a episode unto itself. And usually, I will say this before I even read the synopsis. Usually when a TV show does something like go back in time and like they get you just as you're getting into it, they throw you back to something else. I fucking hate that. Like,
yeah.
But
I'll
in
just
this
say,
case,
like I've been watching The Bear, and The Bear does it constantly.
Yeah.
In this case,
you're cool with it because
really
Morrow kicks ass.
Yeah, mainly, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm kind of annoyed at first, but they rope me into it. It becomes good.
Well, hey, as Eric, you mentioned that you've only seen Romulus and a couple of other of the Alien movies.
Resurrection, yeah.
So take my word when I tell you that this standalone episode is a better Alien movie than a whole lot of Alien movies.
Yeah.
It really is just fucking all of it condensed, and it's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of gleaned to that.
Yeah, and I cannot recommend watching the first Alien movie strongly enough.
Yeah, agreed. Wholeheartedly.
Such an absolute banger of both, like, it's a very simple purity of plot and design, and
I say that I haven't watched it, but I'm sure that it's been on enough that I've seen the whole movie. I've just never sat down end to end watched it.
You need to do that, and it's got Harry Dean Stanton.
It does.
Yaphet Kotto. Yaphet Kotto, man.
Yaphet Kotto and Ian Holm. I mean,
our listeners do not need us to recommend Alien to them. They're aware.
That's
okay. Can I do a fucking weird aside? And I'm sorry because it's going to take up time, but it's a thing that has been kind of a question that I'm just going to do it.
Go
do it. I'll edit it out if it doesn't.
I really think that the writer of Alien watched and was influenced by, and it's never come up in anything. There's no way of proving this. I don't even know if the guy's still alive. There's a Doctor Who episode from the Tom Baker years that I think he must have seen at some point and been influenced by. It's called The Robots of Death. And basically there is this free roving installation on a desert planet. And what it does is it mines minerals out of the sand. And it's got like a small human crew supplemented by like dozens of robots. And it takes a while, a bit of a slow burn to figure out exactly why, but the robots start killing people and like small crew getting picked off one by these things that you do not have any reasonable way to fight. They're stronger, they're faster. I would really love to know if that was something that the writer saw and were influenced by, because I've drawn a parallel between those two things since I was probably literally like 12 years old. That came from nowhere and goes nowhere. We can leave it at that. But I just love that I got to put it on record on a podcast, because this is the only place, my friends, that I could have done that.
Wonderful. I'm here for it. And I will say that's totally possible. And I think decades ago, I read just some little capsule, in a movie review somewhere, where somebody just said, yeah, I mean, the whole concept of Alien is very simple. It's making a science fiction haunted house. Like, there's a ghost in the house, and the ghost kills people. And that's a very common structure in
Absolutely.
like haunted house stuff, where you're trapped in a place and it's a small group of people and they die one by one. So it could definitely be parallel thinking, but you could absolutely be right in that, in that it was inspired somehow by that episode.
Yep.
It's a haunted house designed by H.R. Giger.
Absolutely. That guy. That fucking weird, wonderful guy. Yeah.
All right, let's read episode 5.
Do you want to do it or you want me to?
I can. A flashback shows the events that occurred on the Maginot before it reached Earth. Junior Security Officer Clem wakes Morrow from cryo. Yeah.
Can you hear me, Clem Fandango?
I hear you, Clem Fandango.
Clem wakes Morrow from cryosleep and tells Morrow that a fire has led to 2 facehuggers escaping containment, which lashed onto Captain Dinsdale and Science Officer Bronsky. Dinsdale dies from the facehugger's acid blood when medical officer Rahim attempts to cut the facehugger's tail. After being told by engineer Shmuel that the ship's navigational systems were also damaged in the fire, Morrow concludes that someone has sabotaged the ship. Executive Officer Zaviri assumes they got to put every name in.
Yep.
Assumes command of the ship, but Morrow and Mother threatens to relieve Zaviri if Zaviri does not prioritize the creatures above the crew. Bronsky is placed in cryosleep to prevent the gestation of the xenomorph, but this fails. In science officer Shibuzo's lab, one leech specimen manages to open its test tube from the inside and lays its larva in Shibuzo's water bottle. Witnessing this, the Ocellus, the eye monster, also escapes afterwards. Apprentice engineer Malachite drinks the water and the larva kills him internally. Chibuzo and Rahim are killed by the leech's larva's defensive toxic gas when trying to extract them. Navigator Ting is killed by the now full-grown xenomorph. Chief engineer Petrovich is revealed to be behind the sabotage, having been promised a hybrid body by Cavalier if the ship crashes into Prodigy territory. Petrovich kills Clem and is in turn killed by Morrow, who retreats into the control room and seals himself in. Zaviri is killed by the xenomorph outside the door. With everyone dead, Morrow locks himself in the panic room and awaits the crash. Back in the present, Morrow meets with Yutani, offering to retrieve the specimens by force and kill Cavalier.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that this episode plays into a thing that I have said many places and across a number of like online platforms. And that is, if you've got a big sprawling property, one way that you can like fucking booster shot focus and agency and all this other good stuff into it, drop a hard-boiled fucking detective right into the middle of it. They did it in The Expanse. They did it in The Kingdom. And I feel the character of Morrow, and specifically in this episode, they did it here. He's even chomping cigars. Exactly. Put a badass, hard-boiled, gumshoe-ass detective into the middle of a thing. Nobody's ever going to be mad that he's there. They're always going to be like, yes, this is awesome.
They did it in season 3 of Dawson's Creek, season 4.
I did not know that.
Boat heist, Josh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Colin, you are
lots of Dutch angles.
You're absolutely preaching to the fucking choir with
me. All right, fuck. Hell yeah. What's up, kindred spirits?
Yeah, hard-boiled mystery novels are my native environment. So.
Hell yeah. And like when he's dissecting the footage, figuring out what happened, interrogating the android who's like, you're so close. You're just not getting it. I'm just like, this is fucking what I live for.
Yep.
I will say a lot of the comments I read about this show said that even by the people who didn't like it, still recommended you watch episode 5 because it kind of stands on its own.
Yeah.
And it's, I agree. It's a strong episode, even though it doesn't feature any of the cast we've come to, well, other than Morrow and a little bit of Boy Cavalier.
Tiny bit. Yeah, I honestly have very little to say about this episode beyond it absolutely fucking rules. People should watch it.
I do have to complain about the ineptness of the crew at every turn. And I do think that is a negative in that it's sloppy writing to make a crew that, like, eating a sandwich in a room full of specimens
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking bad science.
She eats there because she doesn't like Ting's cigarette smoke.
I get that. Smoking cigarettes on an enclosed spaceship, probably not a great move either, but we've already given that a pass for the retrofuturism thing.
Yep.
But still, doing surgery without a mask on or gloves or even washing your hands first, that's generally going to lead to something dying.
Yes, absolutely. Well, there's also shades of Prometheus in that we have a crew of people put on a fucking spaceship, dispatched to the far corners of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd think that they would be the best of the best of the best. It would be hospital corners across the fucking ship. And instead...
And Morrow is.
Morrow is. Ride in a cowboy hat.
Yeah. And the rest of them are semi-competent at best, although we have already rightfully praised Shmuel for his kind of hard-headed practicality.
Yeah.
You got some strong Mackie vibes from Shmuel, you gotta...
Yeah. Thank you. That is flattering. I think that, like, one thing that you might be able to say, like, slot this in and see how it works for you. This could also be a commentary on the world that would be created if, like, a baker's dozen trillionaires fucking who didn't really give a shit ran everything.
Yeah.
You know, we might be looking at the best of the best of the best of a late post capitalist society. You know, maybe these are the pick of the litter.
I don't disagree that that's highly possible.
I think the Peter principle comes into that quite strongly. The idea that people get promoted to their level of incompetence, like you do a job good, and then you get promoted to the level above, and then you do that job good, et cetera, until you do not do good at the job, and you don't get fired. You just don't get promoted again.
Yep.
Right.
Interesting. My read on this is that, and they mention it several times, that this is a 65-year mission, and people have gotten fucking sloppy and lazy. I mean, that makes sense. That's what fucking happens, man. You get used to habits, and then suddenly a giant emergency drops in your lap, and you're like, "Oh fuck, I gotta cut that off. I gotta cut that off his neck. Oh shit, fuck."
That was a mistake.
Yeah. Well, and then also
to be fair, who would expect acid blood?
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, only people who have seen Alien movies.
That guy should have watched Alien.
Yeah.
Also, you know what? You raise an interesting point. A 65-year mission. Not a lot of people are going to sign up for that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, that's true. You're not getting the best of the best.
That might be the bottleneck. You know.
That's what Shmuel says to the apprentice. Where the apprentice says, "Oh, are you going to get something nice for your wife with your bonus when we get back?" And Shmuel says, like, "When I left my wife, she was 31. She looks like my great grandmother now." Like, they're not paying us for the mission; they're paying us for the life that we missed on the mission.
Which is capitalism.
Yeah, which is clearly capitalism.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is also another thing that I'll use to sell Eric on watching Alien. There is a lot of real strong concern for the working man and how they're getting fucked over by the corporation. And they discuss it actively.
You don't need to sell me on Alien. The world has sold me on Alien. I'm not avoiding it because I don't think it would be good. I like to save things. Yeah. I haven't watched Alien yet. You guys watched it a long fucking time ago. That experience is over and gone for you. I still have that experience ahead of me.
But you're never. If you put it like that, you're never going to reach your 20th viewing of Alien experience.
That's true.
True. Facts. Yeah.
Okay, before we move on from this episode, I want to talk about the fight between the Eye and the Xenomorph.
Yes.
Do they hate each other? Is there some species rivalry going on?
There's some
Has the
drama there,
Eye-
man.
There was some drama. There was some tea.
Possibly,
Them bitches have issues.
This is the point on this show where I was sitting on my couch and suddenly turned into that cartoon that somebody on the Astronomica Discord pasted my photo into. Sickos outside the window.
I want these aliens to fight so bad.
Hell yeah.
Will they fight, or will they just become best friends and fight people?
Oh yeah, that'd be even worse.
Yeah.
No.
Hopefully we get a season 2 and that question is answered.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, we do seem to be headed that way for reasons that we'll discuss in a few episodes. But yeah.
All right. Let's just in the interest of time, let's move on to episode 6, The Fly. We got 3 left and we are already hitting on our third hour.
Okay.
This recorder will stop at a certain point. So
Okay, episode 6, The Fly. As the xenomorph grows, Wendy works on communicating with the xenomorph. Nibs undergoes testing, prompting Adam Ines, Viv Savage, to demand Nibs' memory be reset before the Maginot's crash. Dame Sylvia, the Babadook, reluctantly accepts, but Arthur refuses and is fired under threat of execution if Arthur is not gone by the end of the day. Wendy talks to Nibs and understands that Nibs was reprogrammed. Wendy confronts Dame about Nibs' condition. Meanwhile, Cavalier meets with Yutani over the ship's return and outwits Yutani, securing $20 billion USD in additional damages on top of the expected compensation, while keeping the specimens for 6 weeks. We're really getting in the fucking weeds here. While keeping the specimens for 6 weeks due to quarantine. Kirsch asks Isaac to feed and water the specimens while Kirsch is away. While feeding the specimens, the Ocellus surprises Isaac, and Isaac is locked in a cage with 2 fly-like creatures who kill Isaac with acid and feed on Isaac's body. God, every name.
yeah, they really go for it.
That's why in like 3 episodes ago, I kept saying, Joe.
Yeah.
Slightly tries to lure Joe to the alien eggs, but Joe declines due to reassignment. Joe later visits a packing Arthur, who covertly deactivates Wendy's tracking device and gives Joe a boat code to help Joe and Wendy to escape. Noticing Isaac is disconnected.
Maybe this is one of these anti-pronoun peoples wrote this. They ain't using a single goddamn pronoun.
Yeah. Noticing Isaac is disconnected, Arthur goes to the lab, accompanied by Slightly. Slightly opens the cage of the xenomorph eggs and locks Arthur inside the lab, allowing a facehugger to latch onto Arthur. Kirsch watches this through security cameras, but does not tell Cavalier. Slightly hides along with Arthur's body in the air vent as the flies leave their cage. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, things are ramping up, finally.
Okay, Kirsch's motivation.
Oh, yeah. That is a fucking interesting question. And
I don't know. I don't have an answer.
So in episode 2, there is a moment where they're approaching an alien, not a xenomorph, but one of the other ones. And Kirsch says,
the ceiling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He says, fear is for animals. You are not an animal. And so like Kirsch's motivations, I'm not saying anything in particular because I don't fucking know. This is where shit kind of went off the rails for me. Like, I don't know what Kirsch is doing, but I want to propose a kind of umbrella theory that may, along with other shit that may or may not happen in season 2, explain it. And I think that Kirsch is a synth supremacist.
I was wondering if that's what you're doing.
Yeah. I think that, like, based along with other things that happen later, I think that Kirsch might want containment to fail because he thinks that these specimens will go ham on the human population and create a depopulated world in which a race of like self-building synths like Winona Ryder in Alien Resurrection can flourish. That's all I've got.
I wouldn't mind a world of late 90s Winona Riders.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. I would buy that.
And 2025's Tim Oliphant's.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Absolutely.
The children would be beautiful. Jesus.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
I think that's a very interesting theory. There's no evidence saying that to show that it's true other than some weird looks.
I think that is a totally fucking fair and reasonable read of the information we've got.
yeah, well, I mean, it's just like Kirsch's sudden heel turn. I'm just struggling to make sense of it. That's the best I've got so far.
Well, he shows some. It almost seems like genuine affection towards the hybrids at points. Not like, I don't know. He's got a patience with them that feels fatherly. Although I would hesitate.
Look with your eyes.
Yes, exactly.
You boys are grounded. Yeah.
He, I think, as backing to Colin's theory, I think it's the middle of the, beginning to middle of the second episode when they're flying from the lab to the crash site. Kirsch has a little monologue about how you used to be food, and explains that, once upon a time, humans were a prey species. We developed culture and technology that made us no longer a prey species, and then we ventured out into the stars, only to make ourselves a prey species again, potentially.
Yep, we are food again.
And it's notable that he is not saying we humans; he is saying you humans.
Yeah,
because
he is.
He is a fucking android. And also, I think it was in episode 3 or 4, when I think it was in there, Boy Cavalier lays out his little thing about how hybrids are going to be the future. The one of the big risks is basically replicating machines, and AIs get smarter and smarter. I want to keep humanity going and, basically bootstrap it up to the next level.
It's actually it's a smart counter to the AI problem. Think about it.
Well, it's, it depends on how you think about those fucking singularity jerk-offs that you're infected with in real life.
Try not to.
Honestly, life's hard enough without thinking about those guys.
Yeah. But
I will say, as this show goes, I would have liked a little bit more reveal of whatever Kirsch's motivations are.
Yeah.
Because as logical as that is, there's really it could be that, or he could just be an unthinking robot doing what he thinks is best for the survival of the island,
Yeah.
Fucking knows.
Or he could be in some way compromised, or
he could.
We only know the name of
unclear.
2 of the corporations.
Yeah, there's 5 of those motherfuckers.
Yep.
One of them is Ares Macro Technology.
Yeah, sure. I truly do not know Kirsch's motivations. My read on most of what he does through the show is that, number 1, he is much smarter than Boy Cavalier. Number 2, he has his eye on a much bigger picture and a different picture than Boy Cavalier or Adam or anybody else.
Yep.
What he is doing with this bigger picture is very much unclear. Through a certain point in the series, you can read him knowing about Slightly and Morrow's communication. You can read that as, he is trying to gather information on what the enemy, quote marks, is doing so he can counter it. But then you reach a point where it's fucking Slightly and Toodles dragging a body down the hallway, and he's like, "No, take this elevator, dum-dums."
No, I mean, he's definitely okay. Maybe his attitude towards the hybrids is interesting. He sees Isaac getting in trouble in real time.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't really react.
Exactly. So, I mean, that argues against the, I think, justifiably and correctly perceived paternalistic, almost like affection that he has. It's like, he's willing to let one of them die for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
What is that reason?
Maybe he's aware that they can reboot him. That's another possibility too.
Which leads back to the Isaac died, or did he? You know?
Yeah.
Or maybe
he also is. He's very accepting of Isaac's name change, and in a way that seems supportive almost.
Yeah.
And like has to correct himself. Like he accepted it so much that when he's talking about Isaac's death to the boy Cavalier, he has to correct himself.
Well, there's also the fact that that monologue he gives, "You used to be food," etc., is delivered to Wendy, who is, you know, not human,
not really a human,
but you know,
it's kind of mixed messages, and that could be sloppy writing because he delivers that to her in the same episode that he tells another one that you're not an animal, fears for animals. So who fucking knows? I did want to talk about.
It's real interesting. I really like the question of what the fuck is going on with Kirsch, whether or not. Like I am not very confident that there is a great or satisfying answer to that. But Oliphant is great enough in this role where I am deeply intrigued.
Yeah.
And where I want to drive this to next involves that a little bit too, because I want to talk about the negotiation, which I thought was a great scene. The boy Cavalier is such a piece of shit, but I loved that negotiation scene.
Exactly. Mark Zuckerberg piece of fucking garbage.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the way he got everything he wanted, Yutani got nothing, and the moderator walks out of it like, that went very well. You did a good job here.
Oh,
I just really liked that scene. And then the scene in the elevator afterwards when
with Morrow and
Kirsch and Morrow
which
were talking
might be the high point
time
of the series.
It could be.
Yeah.
Just your outdated tech. I'm the new hotness. And oh man, it's and then he basically comes back with, well, you just want to be me. You're just sticking parts in yourself to be more like me.
Yeah.
Which shows that Kirsch does have an ego.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
what Morrow says, you know what I like most about killing synths? They don't feel pain, so nothing clouds their minds when I start chopping them up. And Kirsch is like, okay, well, that's
the pain was the point.
Proposition, but wouldn't the pain make it more satisfying? Like, especially for cyborgs, you know, the moment when you realize you're not a machine after all was, you know, when the first eyeball pops, right?
Yep.
Right?
Oh, such a fucking good. Oh, so good.
I really don't know if the inconsistencies in Kirsch are due to like mysteries we don't know about him, or just due to lazy writing that just writes whatever's cool and isn't necessarily
so much hinges on that.
Is it just that they hired Timothy Oliphant, who is amazing and can just deliver horse shit convincingly? Like, if they had gotten a less interesting actor to do this, would we be seeing through it?
Yep.
I knew I was a Tim Oliphant fan ever since the line, "I'll help you with the fall."
I'll help you with the fall.
on Deadwood.
Yep.
Oh man, he's such a good actor.
He is good. He is good.
All right, let's keep going.
Let's keep rolling.
Talks clicking. Episode 7, Emergence. You have it up, Josh?
I do. Smee discovers Slightly hiding an incapacitated Arthur. Slightly convinces Smee to help deliver Arthur to Morrow on the beach. Security resecures the lab specimen. Wendy is disgusted by Cavalier's attitude to Isaac's death and convinces Nibs to join her and Joe in escaping the island. Curly doesn't want to leave the island and is consoled by Dame Wendy hacks
the Babadook.
Dame Babadook. Wendy hacks the lab system, releasing the grown xenomorph.
It just doesn't stop being funny.
It really doesn't. Dame Babadook, gay icon. Wendy hacks the lab system, releasing the grown xenomorph, which starts to kill people. Shocking. And escapes into the forest. Kirsch finds Slightly and Smee carrying Arthur's body, but helps them take a faster route to the beach. Outside, Arthur wakes after the facehugger dies. Shortly after, a newborn xenomorph bursts from Arthur's chest and escapes. Slightly and Smee take Arthur's corpse to the beach, where Morrow's Yutani arrives. Having failed to bring the newborn xenomorph, Morrow captures Slightly and Smee. After Kirsch shows Cavalier the Ocellus caused the lab incident involving Isaac's death, Cavalier becomes fascinated with the creature's intelligence and wants to place it into a human host. Outside the lab, Wendy, Joe, and Nibs are held at gunpoint by Yutani forces, but Wendy calls the xenomorph, which kills all the motherfuckers. Morrow's team entered the facility, but they are taken captive by Kirsch, who has captured the newborn xenomorph. Wendy, Joe, and Nibs reach the boat, but are intercepted by Neverland security. Nibs, frustrated, brutally kills a soldier, prompting Joe to shoot Nibs with a taser. A shocked, but not tasered, Wendy scolds Joe as the xenomorph watches in the distance.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I thought it was important to be clear there.
Yes.
Because taser, shock.
One of them was shocked. One of them was also shocked, but in a different way. I don't know. I don't think we need to spend too much time on this episode because we've kind of covered everything in the last episode.
I mean, it's
just an extension.
This was the episode that made me go, okay, do guns work or not? And
it's a very good question because that alien's jumping out of a tree at the soldier and he's unloading full auto into what I would assume is his chest, and the alien doesn't even bleed.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to.
We already mentioned that it seems to depend on like what the plot needs. I also feel like, having watched all the alien stuff, in movies or shows where there are a shit ton of xenomorphs, like aliens, guns work on them.
Mm-hmm.
In properties where it's like only one or two, like Alien 3, guns do not work. Guns do not work on them. I was hesitant to say Alien because I don't remember if they even had guns in Alien. I think the best they had was like a flamethrower.
Yeah, they had the rigged up flamethrower, which did not work.
Did not work.
It's something I would like a definitive answer to, and we're never going to get one because it serves the plot to not answer that question.
So,
but
like basically, I feel like the one way that it seems that this kind of expands the alien lore in a direction that I did not anticipate, and I'm not sure is good, is apparently the xenomorphs have a language, and if you speak it, you can just tell them what to do, and they'll be like, bet. Kill all those guys? Cool. On it.
I think we get back to the motherhood and stuff angle. I think that alien thinks of her as its mom.
Well, there's a really interesting thing is that, okay, the alien noises like the chittering kind of thing and, the kind of hissing, slithering noises, those have been present in all the alien movies.
Yeah.
But never before this show, I think. I mean, and it's been a long time since I've seen some of the properties, and I'm not counting the Alien versus Predator shit because who cares? Yeah. I don't think those alien noises have ever been diegetic. Like, characters in the show have never experienced or made note of those noises, no matter how many aliens they were surrounded by.
Yeah, you almost feel like in the past they were just set dressing.
Yeah, those noises are always just kind of part of the score. And so it's like, I'm not saying it's bad. It is interesting that we are turning those noises into a thing.
Yeah.
Literally
this late in the game.
47 years in.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Wendy has the power of the audience hearing.
Yeah.
Maybe she can also hear, maybe she can see the credits at the end.
Break the fucking fourth wall. Yeah.
Also, I mean, I always think it's kind of cool and I admire when someone has the presence of mind to make interesting use of what's already there.
I want to point out a couple things, if I may. This is my last note I took on the show. Where'd they get the raft? They're hauling poor Arthur's body. It takes a long time to make a raft that nice. I've watched YouTube videos on it. They just have a raft. That annoyed me.
That's right.
Yeah. Fair.
I noticed that on my second watch too. I can like fanfic in my head too. I don't know. They're dumb idiot fucking 12-year-olds. They had been out dicking around in the fucking forest.
They made one earlier.
That's
ago. Possible. Okay, I'll accept that.
Something I will note for this episode that if Smee had not previously been a character, I would, since this show is so heavily invested in Peter Pan bullshit, I would have called Morrow's team invading the island Smee Team 6. Like, if they had chosen a different Lost Boy to name.
Yeah. Well, hey, what was interesting? Smee was not a Lost Boy. He was part of Captain Hook's crew. I thought that was interesting that they crossed over.
Hoskins, yeah. Speaking of Smee, when the chestburster comes out of Arthur, Smee has a breakdown, and like it almost choked me up, man. I bought that kid was in serious distress.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a tough scene because Slightly is freaked out too, but he's freaked out about his mom and catching the alien. That whole thing with those two transporting Arthur, that was rough.
Yeah,
it was absolutely rough.
Yeah, you feel bad for literally everybody involved.
Yeah,
yeah.
You feel bad for Slightly because, well, he thinks his mom is going to be killed and he can maybe save her by doing this. You feel bad for Arthur because he's got a fucking either face hugger in him or a chest burster in him.
Yep.
You feel bad for Smee because he is very confused as to why his friend is doing this, and he just has to help his best friend.
Yeah, he's just trying to be a bro.
Yep. Trying to be a bro.
There are no good answers in that entire scenario. It's terrible.
Last thing I want to point out about this episode, is the sheep stomping out pie and shitting out pie. Pretty cool. I don't know that I buy that in the aliens' concept of numbers would be the same as ours. But who gives a shit in this case?
It was like if a Mayan wrote their numerological equivalent of pi on a piece of paper and showed it to me, I wouldn't know what the fuck it was. So,
right.
Yeah, that did feel kind of weak.
And that's one of the things that you run into in science fiction a lot. The assumption that any creature that somehow runs into contact with people and could be identified as intelligent would know pi. Yep. Do you know how many people you know in your daily life who know pi? Now imagine those people on a spaceship, because they fucking scrub the toilets.
Yeah.
Would they know pi? No, they wouldn't know pi. Why would they know pi? It doesn't like
no.
This motherfucker don't know pi.
It does not come in handy.
I know pi because there are a couple of real specific geometric functions that I need to know for archaeology, and a handful of them vaguely involve pi.
I know it out to the distance that the sheep knew it. I couldn't go past what the sheep knew.
But why are we assuming this random eyeball monster that was picked up from God knows what planet? Do we know that it was picked up from its own spaceship?
If you will allow me to headcanon for a minute, since you guys have done it on my behalf so many times,
do it.
I think they're trying to state that this eyeball is even smarter than we might think. Like, I think it's been studying humans. I think it's been preparing. I think it knows our numerology. It knows our language clearly.
Yeah.
I think it's been prepared for this moment in advance. I think it probably comes from a civilization that knows about stuff outside of their own world.
Civilization?
Because it understands how the alien works and how the alien fights.
Yeah, fucking A.
I think it's the smartest thing
in the room.
And I can't wait till it kills Boy Cavalier.
Yeah.
Stealth protagonist.
All right, I'm going to read the final synopsis of the final episode.
Oh, also gnarly jaw ripping.
Yes, that was good. That was real good. I do love. Can't remember which one that is. Nibs. When she goes full rage monkey.
Yes.
My dog's barking in the background. I apologize. Episode 8, The Real Monsters. Wendy, Nibs, Slightly, Smee, and Curly are imprisoned in one cell while Joe and Morrow are imprisoned in another cell. Wendy uses her connection to the network to block the facility's cameras and communications. Wendy struggles with Joe's decisions to shoot Nibs, believing Joe chose to ally himself with humans instead of her, but ultimately unlocks Joe's cell after Smee tells that Joe is one of them. Cavalier approaches the hybrids in the cell and reveals that at 6 years old, Cavalier built his own synthetic, which he used to kill his abusive father. Wendy unlocks the cell. Nibs kills Cavalier's bodyguard and Cavalier flees. Morrow attacks Kirsch in the lab. Kirsch is badly damaged, but ultimately chokes Morrow unconscious. Smee and Slightly arrive in the lab and take both Kirsch and Morrow, while Nibs captures Dame the Babadook. Adam lures Joe to Cavalier's room and unlocks the Ocellus. Wendy arrives to save Joe and fights Adam, who reveals himself as a synthetic, allowing Wendy to control Adam's motor functions through the network. The Ocellus escapes the beach, where it possesses Arthur's corpse. With the help of the older xenomorph, Wendy and Joe capture Cavalier and lock him in a cell with Kirsch, Adam, Dame Babadook, and Morrow. As Yutani and her team approach the island for invasion, Wendy, with Nibs, Curly, Slightly, Joe, Smee, and both xenomorphs nearby, declares, "Now we rule."
Amazing.
This is the only one I didn't get to rewatch, so it's not quite as strong in my mind, but it's the one my first watch through had been the most recent, like just last week. So
I'll tell you, when Boy Cavalier finally just comes out and says, "You guys are floor models," I was like, okay, I'm ready. Kill him.
Yeah.
It'll feel so good
it.
right now. And
I was, this is the point where, like I said, I had no expectation this would be an ongoing series.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I was,
me either.
The way we came into this episode, I was thinking like, okay, everybody gonna fucking die. And I was very shocked by the way it left off.
I would go one further than shocked and say disappointed.
Yeah,
I feel like
I kind of was like,
there was not enough payoff to the very intense buildup this series has been giving us from the beginning.
yeah.
We never got a chance to hear the eyeball speak. I thought at some point we would get to see anything about
it speak.
Yeah, that's
And
in
then
episode 5.
Also, the thing is, and this is the thing that's, it's at the metal layer, but you have to consider these days is we're all going to say that we think this show is varying degrees of good. But wherever you land on that spectrum, however many stars you give it, that rating has to be based on the assumption that there will be a second season. Because
conclusion.
Exactly. And if what tends to happens, which is they just go, not enough people watched it, we didn't sell enough Zagnuts, and they fucking axe it, then
good reference.
We're going to have to fucking go ahead and subtract all whatever stars we gave it,
Yeah,
and
right.
I hate that they left
and it might not have sold enough Zagnuts.
Yeah, I haven't been following, but it might not have. I mean, I know a lot of people that watched it and enjoyed it, but I know a lot of people that watched and enjoyed a lot of shows that got canceled after one season.
Right.
So
and this was I haven't gotten into any of the production background beyond the long gestating thing. It cost somewhere north of $200 million.
Holy shit balls.
Yeah. And it, a big part of that is that it fired up and started shooting in, I think it was the middle of April 2021 or 2020. So
bad timing.
Tons of COVID precautions, et cetera, big long delays. And, so it was very expensive. So they had they are really hoping for a lot of people to be signing up to FX, Hulu, whatever for this thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Makes me feel bad for how I watched it. I do positives on this. I loved watching the kids take their power back and realize that they were not trapped on this island with everything else. Everything else was trapped on this island with them.
Fucking A.
That was nice to see. However, it did get a little super special hero friends with the Scooby-Doo gang.
Yeah.
With a xenomorph Scooby standing in at the end.
Yeah.
Got a little ridiculous. They're a little overpowered now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there was a payoff. There wasn't a payoff to the eyeball monster. There wasn't a payoff to Kirsch. There wasn't really a payoff to Morrow. I mean, they're all just locked in a cage. There's no payoff to anything.
Yeah. Everything was left unresolved.
Literally everything. Even on a good cliffhanger episode needs to give you something.
Yep.
They got to give you something to end to go in.
We killed 2 of the mercenaries whose names we vaguely recalled from the first 2 episodes of the show.
And I actually liked those mercenaries. I think those mercenaries
Yeah, I did.
And a
too.
future season could have been good, cool, normie characters. I like that there's some normies thrown in.
Yeah,
Exactly. No, I was sad to see Siberian and Rashidi go. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Same.
one of them should have been spared again to give us a normie. You know,
Yeah.
an unaffiliated normie, since Hermit
I mean,
has gone
the only
full
one we have is-
revolution.
Right. Well, yeah. They should have ended it with like Hermit reading some type of manifesto in voiceover.
Yeah, that seems like maybe it would have been a good. Oh yeah,
All the best shows in that way.
we forgot to mention that Joe, Wendy's brother, plays. Is it Nemec? Is his character's
In
name?
Andor, yeah. Speaking of
In Andor.
manifestos,
That was the reference. I was-
yep.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's that kid from Andor." When the show started airing, I was like,
Now, to me, he'll always be the pedophile from Black Mirror.
"Yes, he was." Oh yeah,
Shit.
that was a rough one.
Yep.
It was a real bad one.
Yeah, it really was.
He really needed something like Andor to pull him out of that hole.
Oh yeah. Good for him to find it.
Do we have any? Do we have any other comments on this last episode or on the series as a whole? Because we got to move into ratings and get out of here. We're at 2-parter length, although I'm probably just going to shove it all out as one and everybody complain about how long it is.
The Kirsch-Morrow fight was cool.
Yep.
Yes, it was very cool.
You know, it was just a couple of dumbasses just bouncing each other off the walls.
Yep.
It's not cool like we're both fucking we're both future combat guys, so we know kung fu shit. It's
right.
I punch, I stab,
Yep.
I throw you. Which
we still don't really have an answer at who's on the cyborg versus synth question.
Boy Cavalier finally experiencing fear, as brief as it was.
It's nice.
It was nice.
It was fun to see.
It was satisfying.
I really found weirdly, the scene with Adam where in Cavalier's room to be very effective. Like just the way Viv Savage is like, why are we fucking resurrecting children? What do we want? An eternity of, are we there yet? Jesus Christ. Anyway, this is my job. Okay, I gotta get this eyeball monster in you, throw, punch, freeze.
Yep.
And
he was great. He was an unsung hero of the show.
He really was.
So menacing.
The way he freezes in like mid punch is just like chef's kiss of like, it's truly like they took out they stopped a cartoon mid frame.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very good.
I was also annoyed at Wendy's powers are getting just a little Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
She can do anything, and why do none of the others have any of these abilities?
Yeah. Well, it's it really is a question that I hope they answer.
I do too.
Because she is the most special little girl, and if they don't explain why, then we're gonna have to take a half a star back on wherever we settle.
Yeah. Speaking of stars,
why don't we do some stars?
Why don't we do some ratings? Colin, let me explain how this works.
All right.
We have 5 categories we rate everything on.
Okay.
The first 4 are on a 1 to 10 scale.
Okay.
The final category is a 1 to 5 scale. And you could call it stars. We prefer to call it hand raisers, like on fingers.
Okay.
So the first of the 1 to 10 categories is on the story of Alien Earth. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you think the story is, and how well do you think they told it?
Can I hear the rest of the categories first?
Sure, although it's not going to help you, I assure you.
Okay.
These are like, any given week. My numbers for these could fluctuate up and down, just deciding on how I interpret a random word.
Okay.
So be prepared to not understand fully, but go ahead, Eric. Explain.
We have story. We have influence, meaning this is not going to apply to this one at all because it's brand new. But when we do older stuff, how much did it influence the genre of cyberpunk?
Okay.
We have prescience, meaning how well did they predict the future dystopia in which the show takes place?
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, we have style, which is, How cool is it?
Okay.
Was it neat looking?
And that could in fact just come down to literal, like, is there cool looking costumes?
Okay.
You know,
a few stuff we've done has had very high style ratings and very low story ratings because it's, style over substance.
Yeah, and the fifth one is just
how much you like it.
Effectively your 1 through 5 star.
So the first one, story.
Yes. And you don't have to go first.
And confusingly and idiotically, this combines both what was the plot like and how well written was it, which we all know are different things.
Because I feel like
it's just story to me.
What we have here is a 4.7 plot that was given to 7.2 writers. Like, I feel like the writing, the texture is better than the story. Like, I mean, the story has some really big ideas, some really interesting things going on, but good acting, good directing, and good, like, dialogue and things like that sell it. And so I think the aggregate rating is probably like a 6.7 for me.
I think that's a very fair rating.
Yeah, I think that's a really fair number and kind of how I was considering it. And you put it very well with there's what they have on paper and what is being sold, and they are selling it better than it deserves, quote marks.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what do you say, Josh? I'm going to go with 7 because that's the number I picked before he said 6.7. So
okay, I was going to go 6.5. So we're all pretty close in alignment.
Man,
yeah. I guess I like it slightly better than you guys.
That's wild to me. I would not have thought, but yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah.
Well, I am always the asshole who I cannot help but notice, well, plot holes, and they left this fucking wrinkle there, and they could have done 5 minutes more work on this scene to smooth that out. So I'm always kind of too critical.
But I also feel... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, I would kind of flip what you said earlier about, I think the overall story is stronger than the telling of it in some parts. Maybe it's not necessarily the story is presented, but it's the possibilities of the story that my mind took on. I really like the idea of this hybrid versus synth versus cyborg corporate war, even though that doesn't really play in, but also the practicalities of it do in the show.
It's a 3-point war in which we only know for sure who one of the points is. Like I said, we know that Prodigy is hybrids.
Well,
I guess Wayland Yutani is synths. Maybe,
but also they have a cyborg. They also have a cyborg on the payroll.
You also don't forget Prodigy put a lung in the kid, so they're perfectly capable of doing cyborg shit too.
You're right.
Yeah.
So, I think
it's interesting.
Yeah. I also think that we should say in conjunction with these ratings that we're giving for this particular aspect, the story, is that, like we said earlier, if there isn't a season 2 or the season 2 doesn't address a lot of the shit we brought up, then these ratings will drop.
This one drops like a rock.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Style probably won't change much.
I will also say that I was much more, and this is a Cyberpunk podcast, so this makes sense, but I was much more interested in the synth cyborg hybrid storyline than I was in the alien storyline.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
The monster movie stuff was really boring after a while, especially the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. Do you feel...
I just don't care about that alien.
Do you feel like somebody wanted to write that story? The synth...
That's how Josh sold it to me originally.
But then they're like, well, we got to drop xenomorphs in here to sell it.
Yeah, I really think that this was initially
a Blade Runner.
Noah Hawley. Well, that Noah Hawley got the call from his agent, and the agent said, "Okay, so there's this old Ridley Scott property."
He started writing.
That FX is trying to spin up into a series. And Noah Hawley was like, yes, absolutely, I will do it. And then he got into the room and the execs were like, so what do you have for us on Aliens? And he went mentally,
I got to throw some xenomorphs in here.
I thought they meant Blade Runner. Okay, so a spaceship crashes and there's an alien on it. First of all, that's very important. Remember, there's an alien here. So, but more interestingly, we have cyborgs, we have synthetics, and we have hybrids.
Headcanon absorbed.
Yeah,
yes.
Agreed. All right, let's keep moving through this. Influence, I'm going to just inay it. It's brand spanking new.
Agreed.
We could talk about the influence of Alien, but that's not really fair. Prescience, the world they're building for us, I think is eerily...
annoyingly accurate.
Well, this dystopia they're building, we could very well be in. And we know that their corporate overlord exists. We see them on fucking social media every goddamn day.
Exactly. And the robots telling you no thing is already familiar and will become more familiar. I'd give this one high marks on that.
Yeah, in my mind, prescience wise, this is like
I could see this exact world very possibly happening at the rate we're going.
Yeah, my number is going to be a 9, and the interesting thing is that in this specific instance, that is balanced against the style points that I will give in a minute, because there isn't enough cool cyberpunk shit, so it seems so goddamn boring and so possible.
Yeah.
Like
that scene where Morrow's walking through and he like grabs the noodles off the dude's table, that was a pretty cyberpunk scene.
But it's also cyberpunk that you could see in Mexico City tomorrow.
Yeah. True.
Like everything is just not like it's. The lack of style is increasing its prescience.
Yeah.
I also agree with 9. I'm gonna.
Well, okay, so
with you on that.
I feel like I would probably give it an 8. However, this is running like face first into one of my like fucking pet things, which is if in order for me to like say that like some sort of science fiction set in the future property is prescient, there needs to be some sort of like reference to or explanation of how runaway, out of control, unstoppable climate change has an effect on the plot or how they fixed it. And in this one, there was like none of that. And again, that's just my kind of pet weird thing.
We've all kind of forgotten about that. Low key, that's going to be the one that gets us. I've said that before on the show. That's the one that's getting us.
Oh, yeah. All of us.
We've all kind of pushed it to the side as all the other dystopias are so prominent in the news.
What you guys are both missing is that the Neverland Island, which we see, a number of flying shots, that used to be the entirety of Japan.
Or I was going to say Australia.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Something like that. Oh, this is all Japan we've got left.
Talking a point, honestly.
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
So what would you go with, Colin?
I think 7,
Okay.
Because of that, 7. If not, I'd be with you guys.
Yeah, that's totally fair, Brian.
Yeah. Let's rate the style. I think I'm just going to come out and give it a 10 for style. I think it's stylish in a retro future way that I very much enjoy, even if it's not really realistic for what the future would look like.
Yeah.
It fits my aesthetic.
Agreed.
I love green screen computers, man. I'll never not love green text on a black background.
Yep. It's something in there just hits. It just hits.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. Hard agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you, fellas. 10 it is.
Josh?
I on the other hand, I give the Maginot episode a like 10.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the other hand, the rest of it, like there's a bunch of cool stuff in it, but like I said, this is like the dividing point between the prescience and the style. Like this is too like so much of like what you just see people wearing in literally every situation in here. Sure, it's a little slightly sci-fi-y, like, the colors on the suits are turned up, like Paul Reiser's was in Aliens, but they're still wearing a suit with a tie. The only time we see like cool sci-fi looking bullshit is in Yutani's corporate office, where she has like the samurai guards.
Are crazy looking. What about Boy Cavalier's outfits? He's rocking the barefoot Henry Rollins thing. Gross ass, dirty fucking Quentin Tarantino feet up on the desk.
Yep.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I love that character so much.
So I am going to give this style-wise a 7, and that is hugely helped by the Maginot, because it is my 1970s fucking alien set.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Maybe I was a little hasty giving it 10. I'm thinking
like it in my mind. Okay, so this is in 2120, right? In my mind, 2120 would hopefully look cooler.
I expected 2025 to look a lot cooler than it did, though.
Yeah.
As opposed to, say, Blade Runner, where, that's 2019, and everything looks way cooler than in this show.
You're right. I gave Blade Runner a 10. This isn't Blade Runner caliber. I'm going down to 9.
Okay.
You've convinced me, Josh.
Well,
Colin, do you want to change yours?
Nah, kind of, but then I just feel like a follower. Fuck it. I'm digging in. It's a 10.
Digging. It's fair.
You stick with your goddamn guns, man.
Nah, I mean, like...
All right, lastly...
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I'm trying to think of bases for comparison. Like, things I liked more, things I liked less. And...
I'm trying to... Well, I can give you some quick examples from stuff we've covered in the past. The last 10 we gave style was Captain Laserhawk.
No shit.
On Netflix. I don't know if you ever watched that.
I never did.
Both
the cartoon.
Both the Blade Runners got 10s. Actually, I think Josh
absolutely
gave
fair.
And 9.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, if Blade Runner's a 10,
Aeon Flux got a 10.
Yeah,
well deserved.
Absolutely.
Burst City got. Josh gave it a 10. Yeah.
You know what?
We don't give a lot of 10s. Tron, the original Tron got a 10.
You know what?
What about Fifth Element? Did Fifth Element get a 10? I bet it did.
I don't think it did.
It
did. It did.
Really?
We both gave it 10.
Actually,
yeah.
Yes. If Blade Runner and Fifth Element and Tron, if those are getting 10s, and I agree that they should,
it's not on those.
It's
levels.
not on that level. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
This is more like an 8.
You're going all the way down to 8.
Yeah. I mean, like,
it's fair.
When you put it that
Josh
way,
convinced. He put a good argument forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the only thing that makes me think this isn't set 10 years in the future is the fact that I didn't see a single polo shirt.
Yeah.
All right, let's rate it 1 to 5 hand raisers. Just how much do you like it?
Are there? Do we do halves or percentages of a hand raiser?
You can do 3.14159 if you want. I'm going to give it a 3.75.
Huh. I was going to go the exact same number, and I'm surprised that you weren't slightly below me.
I mean, I came around to it in the end. I'm telling you, the first 2 episodes were rough, but I did come around.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm with you fellas. 3.75 sounds fair. That sounds right about where it is. I think
consensus.
The things that were wrong with it, taken individually, no single one. Mostly they're not that bad, but you put them all together, that's going to dock you a full style point, nor a full hand raiser.
Yeah.
And and 375 is very watchable.
Yeah, it is. We've rated some pretty good things at 3. So, all right. I don't mean to rush, but we have to at least stop the recording. So I want to give Colin all the time he needs to promote his projects. And if you don't think you have any social media, but if you do, now's the time to promote it.
I don't. Yeah. But hey, if you're not already listening to Astronomica, please do. Look forward to see you there. And come to Nerd Camp next year. If you want to know what that is, I assume Josh and Eric have talked about it. Yeah, come to Nerd Camp.
I think last episode we highly recommended community as a way to deal with the trauma of living in this world. And I think Nerd Camp came up.
Hell yeah. Hallelujah. Yeah. Amen. Praise yes. Hard agree.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks so much
Colin.
for having.
This was
I
great.
had a lot of fun.
Yes, we finally caught them all.
You caught them all. Thank guys. And hey, it's just good to hear your voices outside of one time a year.
Yeah, that too.
Hey.
And now we're going to store you all in tiny little balls and keep you on a shelf.
Don't do that. I don't know what the fuck I'd be good for.
Studio.
I don't know what you attack with a Colin. It's just, yeah. But
I wish I knew more about Pokemon, and
I can think of some things. They're usually made of gears. They're small.
No, I'm retired, brother. Retired.
We could attack them, but attacking them. Like with the
I would know how to break them better than perhaps anyone else if I needed to.
Yeah.
I wanted to plug our Patreon, patreon.com/hightechlowlife. I wanted to plug our email, hightechlowlife@gmail.com. I wanted to plug Astronomica's Discord because we have a channel on there where you can come and talk to us about this movie.
Hell yeah.
Which is find that at astronomicapodcast.com and use their Discord link.
Yeah.
I'm so tempted to ask Colin what kind of link it is because I want it.
It is not inspiring.
Thank you. I got a fanboy once in a while.
Super not inspiring.
And yeah, Josh, do you have a quote to send us out on?
In fact, I do. Eric, do you know if you were to cut that podcast in half and save half for later, then each half will become a whole? Now you've got 2 podcasts.
That's good.
I'm saying this should be 2 episodes. Bye.
Bye.
So long, everyone.
This has been the High Tech Low Life podcast. Find us on Blue Sky at High Tech Low Life. Email us at hightechlowlifepodcast@gmail.com and find us on Patreon at patreon.com/hightechlowlife. Theme music by Nihilor at nihilor.com. Thank you for listening.
Keep it moving. Come on, what are you waiting on? Let's go.
They're trashing our rights, man! They're trashing the fluid data! They're trashing! Everybody, hide the planet! Hide the planet!
Shut up and get in the car.